Hi, this is Gary with MacMost.com. Let's take a look at using tags in the Finder. So I'm using macOS 10.9 and I'm going to show you labels. Now there's several different ways to start off applying labels to a file. So for instance, I'm going to run TextEdit here. I'm going to create a new document, and when I save the document for the first time it'll ask me to give a name and a location, but I can also add tags. So I've got tags here that correspond to different colors like red, orange, yellow, green. I've also created some different tags like Project 1, Project 2, Project 3. We can create a new one for this like that, and it'll create this new test project here, and now when I save it I'm going to save it in the Home Docs folder, and we're going to just call it test.rtf and save it in there. So now I've got labels applied to this file I've just saved. If I want to change the tags, add or remove them, I can click here on the name here at the top, and in addition to be able to rename the file and move it, I can also change the tags here. But of course I can also go into the Finder. If I go into the Finder, I'll look at Home Docs and I'll find this right here. That's the file I just saved. I can actually go in here to edit tags, and I can see the tags that are applied. I can select new ones. I can select and remove these. If I get info, Command I here on the file, I can also see the tags up here as well and add and remove them there too. Now if I want to see all the files that have that tag applied to it, I can look in the left sidebar here and I can see under tags I've got a list of all my tags, and I can click on this one and it's basically giving me a search for that particular tag. You can also just do a basic search here. So I could go back up to my Documents folder, Command F, and you could see it's automatically going to figure out that there's a tag there that's got that name, and I can do a search there. So I can do a regular search, or I can use these sidebar items to quickly search. Now the advantages to using these tags is that you can assign more than one tag to a file. So I could go into this file here and I can assign several different ones. So for instance, say I'm a photographer and I've got a folder full of files and I'm using the same photo for a couple different projects. I can assign them different tags. However, that photo can only be one location on my drive. So I in the past may have made several copies of that photo and put it in several different folders to represent different projects, but now I can put it in one folder called say Photos or something like that, and then assign it to several different tags, and then I can search by tag and see which files I'm using for that particular project. So it allows you to put a file more than one place at one time, at least mentally, while it remains actually physically just in one place on the drive. Another great thing is that tags will go across both iCloud and on my Mac files, which before it was hard to actually do that, to actually look in both places at once. I can create a new document in TextEdit here, and I'm going to save it and assign to it the test project, and I'm going to save it here in iCloud. So that first test file was tagged test project and it was saved in on the drive in my Documents folder. This one's going to be saved in iCloud. So now I can open up a new Finder window and look for that tag here, and I can see both files, and now have the path bar below. I could see that this one is in my Documents folder and this one is in iCloud. I can even delete the iCloud file from here, which you couldn't do before. You had to go into the Open dialog for TextEdit since it's a TextEdit file. And I could also combine files, so I can have the pages and the numbers in a Keynote file and a TextEdit file, and tag them all as part of this project, and when I search for it I could see all of those together even though they're in iCloud, and normally I would only be able to see them in their individual places. So tags really makes iCloud storage that much more useful because you can start to use groups of iCloud folders, iCloud files together.